Hi, my name is Kelsey. I'm the campus recruiter here at CohnReznick, and I'm joined by my colleague Diego, who's a tax associate of ours. Diego, do you want to just take a second to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Diego Moreno. I am a Suffolk alumni. I grew up in Revere. I'm from Peru. So first gen student. Just a little background of myself. And Peruvian. That's where I grew up. A little bit of my life, and then the rest of my life, I just grew up in Revere. And honestly, just happy to be part of CohnReznick. Happy to have been a Suffolk alumni. Learned a lot, cherished a lot of things, and happy to be here. Honestly.
Awesome. I'm super excited to chat with you today to talk a little bit about not only how you found accounting, but how you found CohnReznick, what your experience was like at Suffolk, and your advice to first gen students kind of thinking about their position now. So
hmm
I'll kick it off with my first question. What was your journey like to finding accounting?
It really started in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I took an intro to accounting class in high school, and honestly, I fell for it. Like I really enjoyed it. Like I always knew I wanted to do something in the business world with numbers, and I took intro to business. I took intro to accounting, and that's the one that really grabbed me and hooked me, honestly. And the funny thing about it was, I remember like it was yesterday. 17 years old, applying to schools, looking at schools, seeing what I wanted to study and seeing what I wanted to do. And I'll never forget. I told my mom, telling her was thinking of these schools, thinking of going to Suffolk and thinking of studying accounting. She was surprised, shocked, and happy at the same time, just because, and I didn't know until that same moment she wanted to study accounting when she was young as well, but sadly she didn't get the opportunity to do it. So she was very, very supportive and wanted to make sure like I got the opportunity to go to college and be able to study something I really liked and really enjoyed in high school. So that's kind of where I started. And then once I got to college, at times, I won't lie, it was a bit rocky. It was definitely a little bit nerve wracking at times, just because I was a
Mm-hmm.
first gen student. Sometimes I didn't really have much guidance. I really couldn't reach out to my parents, my older brother for any kind of advice, just because they haven't been put in that situation yet. So at times it was a little bit rocky, but one thing about Suffolk that I really liked and I really enjoyed when I was doing the campus visit, they have so many resources and so much support that they provide. And it really is kind of up to you to find them and kind of be able to figure it out and be able to kind of get out of your comfort zone and put yourself in places and areas that you may feel uncomfortable at times, but that's normal. I think if you want to grow, you have to be able to get out of your comfort zone. So that really sparked something in me, and I really enjoy that part at Suffolk. And the crazy thing about it is, during the pandemic, one of my professors, she was a part of. She ran, if not, was a big part of this first gen program, if I'm not program or club at Suffolk University. And honestly, it surprised me because I thought I was kind of like the only one. So being able to have a group amount of people that are kind of in the same situation as me helped a lot. It brought me closer to other people. People that can relate. At times being a first gen student, it carries a lot of weight on your shoulders. Being able to be a leader, be able to be an example, lead by example to, family members, like for me, it's really big, especially for my little cousins, because I grew up in the same place as they grew up, in Peru, and then, being coming here, so they relate a lot and they look up to a lot of what I do and, who I'm trying to become and who I'm trying to grow into and just better myself, honestly. And, you know, when it came down to my journey, once I started taking accounting classes, honestly, I took a good amount. Some were good, some were definitely made me rethink what I was doing. But the two classes that I really enjoyed, the two courses, it was my federal tax class, where I mainly worked on individual returns, so like 1040s,
Mm-hmm.
and then my other class was cost accounting, which is like in the area of managerial accounting. And I really ended the course really liking it a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew where I wanted my career to go, but not specific which field. So I applied for internships, and then that's where things really started to, okay, where am I gonna go with this? Do I want to be a tax accountant? Do I want to do cost accounting? Like, what do I really want to do with my life and my career?
I love it. And you make a really good point about Suffolk University. The resources on campus are incredible. We especially love working with the accounting department there, the career services department, and shout out to Laura, who kind of was the inspiration for us to have this conversation and start this call. They do a great job at Suffolk University. So I'm glad you gave a shout out to them. But good for you for being an example for your family and taking that leap. I know it's hard for a lot of students who are first gen. So I appreciate you sharing that. You kind of started to already get into it, but I want to kind of keep going. Tell me about your experience as you were looking for internships, interviewing, looking at all the different companies. You had maybe established that you wanted to go into accounting. How did you decide from there?
So one of the actual resources that I used to look at job posting was Handshake, and I
Mm-hmm.
got that from Suffolk. From my courses, because like I said, Suffolk has a great amount of resources for you to honestly use and take advantage of, because you have to. I think time can't be wasted. You can never get it back. So definitely take advantage with that. And then when it came down to my process and looking at companies and like actually having interviews, I won't lie, it was rocky at times. It definitely felt, when I was in the interview, it felt like I was somewhat of a bother to people, them
Mm-hmm.
kind of not really being interested of, hearing me, or really just looking at their check boxes and just seeing if I check every box, and if I don't, it's like, all right, we're not going to go forward with you, and then that kind of, as I just kept looking for more posts, kept applying. I ran into CohnReznick, and I think one of the biggest things that caught my eye with CohnReznick, which it made me apply the quickest I could, was at the bottom of the job posting. It said, "Don't feel overwhelmed, or intimidated if you don't check each box we have. Still apply." And from then on, I kind of knew, I'm like, this firm is something special, and I would love to be a part of it. So when I got the email back, being able to have an interview, it was night and day, honestly, and especially because around that time I had two interviews before CohnReznick, so it reminded me even more how night and day it was
Mm-hmm.
when I actually got to be, somebody would actually listen to me, like actually, get to know me as a person, and actually not just worry about if I fill every box they have. They actually noticed me, and I think that's one of the biggest things that hooked me with CohnReznick. And it definitely made me very, very more eager to start, and kind of get the feel of seeing how the whole firm is, because at times I think in the interview process, sometimes it could seem one way, and then once you actually start working, it could be another way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was definitely very excited, very excited, honestly, especially like telling my family, like I got this job offer, I got this internship offer. I can't wait to start. Like the interview process went better than I ever expected. Like it stuck with me. It really stuck with me. Like I remember my first and my second interview, and honestly very grateful for it. I think it's it's huge. It's huge. It's definitely night and day. And I think anybody that interviews with our firm can definitely notice that off the bat, you know?
I love it. It's true. It's like whenever you ask people what keeps them here at CohnReznick, I think the answer a lot of times is the people. And it's just to your point, like the people here really care and they take the time to like get to know other people, and that's what keeps me here too. And it's funny you mentioned the job posting and what it said at the bottom, because that was a big reason why I applied even to this role. And even, just seeing that at the bottom of the posting changes how you look at the job. And I think you're right. It says something about, even if you don't meet 100% of the criteria on this posting, still apply, because you might be a good fit for another role. And I'm glad that we encourage that. I think that it helps encourage folks to apply, even if they don't check every single box. You might still be a great intern or a great associate. So that kind of brings me to the next step in the process, which was your internships. You were fortunate enough to see 2 different internships and have since seen full-time, even a busy season. And there's a lot of conversation about busy season and what it is and how tough it can be. You've done a winter internship, you've done a summer internship, you've now done a winter busy season as a full-time associate. Talk to me a little bit about the difference between those.
I mean, when it comes to the winter internship and the summer internship, it's a huge difference. I can't even, it's night and day, honestly, because during our winter season, it's busy time. It gets hectic at times. I won't lie, and it's definitely much more different. Intern versus the full time. Me being a full time during this busy season. I got to see a lot more. I got to be exposed to a lot more, and honestly, that's what I wanted. I definitely wanted to see more and be more involved and be honestly a bigger help to my team. I think that's one of the biggest things I wanted. And with busy season, you definitely get the opportunity because there's a lot of work coming in. There's a lot of deadlines that we have to meet. There's, at times it's a bit of pressure, but it comes with the job at times, I feel like. And it's nothing that you really have to stress yourself about, just because this firm, honestly, every team is phenomenal. Every team has, like, every team member is just always willing to help, always willing to be there for you. So there's never been a time, even in the summer, even when it's much, much slower, I'm still able to reach out. I'm still able to ask questions. I'm still able to hop on calls. I'm still, able to get help, without being a bother to people, especially during busy season, because at times, it gets hectic, and you definitely don't want to be a bother, but it's also, you gotta put yourself in the situation of you wanted to learn. If you want to learn, ask questions. Don't spin your wheels. I think that's one of the biggest things that we say in our firm, is don't spin your wheels. Definitely, if you looked at it more than 5 minutes, reach out. And I think that's huge, because at times you can look at certain things for a long time, and you shouldn't. If you're stumped, reach out. And to this day, even as a full-timer, nothing has changed. Everybody is welcoming. Everybody is just so supportive, and everybody just wants to see you succeed. And the summer, which is much more relaxed, you get to do more things. More outside activity. Work events, or even the certain events that we have in the office. It brings us together, which I always enjoyed, because I work out of the Boston office. So I definitely have people from Braintree, Wakefield, and we have events that brings all of us together. So, we're able to network, we're able to chat with each other. And even with the partners, like, I don't ever feel any real pressure. Like, they're very easygoing. Like, they're more than happy to have a conversation with you. They're more than happy to, like, you kind of picking their brains, asking them questions and certain things like that. So that's one of the things that I really, really enjoyed during the summertime, because busy season, it's mainly towards when we take a little break, or we're like walking past the break room, and like, we get to chat with each other, chat with some of
Mm-hmm.
the audit, which I have been doing a lot more this year, since a lot of my work is audited. So the times I get to talk with them and chat with them is always a pleasure, honestly. And it's huge. It's, and it's a full timer. Like I said, nothing has changed. Nothing but the hours. I'll say that.
I appreciate you being honest. That's a good thing.
No, it has to. It has to.
And it was funny to hear you say, like, don't spin your wheels, ask questions. We say that to incoming interns all the time, and it's hard to believe that that's true. And I get that feedback a lot. Students hear that a lot at the beginning of the internship, and then they get here, and I'll check in with them midway, and they go, actually, yeah, people have asked, answered all my questions, and people have been super supportive, and no one's ever said I don't have time for you, or I can't handle that right now. It's hard to sometimes go from that academic setting where you have to do all of your own assignments and all of your own work and take your own tests, to working in a team environment. But that's what everyone's here to help you kind of transition to, is working in a team environment and not being scared to ask questions. So I'm glad that it's just so funny to hear you say it now, like we say it all the time to interns, but it's true through and through. It's true. And I appreciate you bringing up the difference between the winter and the summer, because I get questions from students a lot about, which one they should start with, or whether a winter or summer is better. They're just different. They're a little bit different in the pace and the kinds of activities you're doing. So I appreciate you kind of highlighting that. Now, lastly, I kind of want to get into how you've grown in your role. Tell me a little bit about how you've been able to give back to others at the firm.
Yes. So this winter, busy season, our winter interns, I didn't have the opportunity to sign up to be, our CR buddy,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed that the firm does, especially for up and coming interns. But for the intern on my team, her name is Dina. I got to be her unassigned CR friend in my team. That's how I took it as for me, because I really wanted to make sure, Dina got the same experience that I did. I wanted to make sure that she was able to enjoy it as much as I did, and be able to never feel like she was alone, never feel like she was stumped and couldn't reach out. Like I always told it. I always told it, if you need anything, reach out. If I'm in the office, come find me. If I'm not in the office, just call me or message me in Teams. I never had a problem pausing my return and making sure Dina was, good, making sure that she knew what she needed to do, make sure that she understood, the certain concepts that we're doing. Because at times, like I said, coursework versus in-field work is different. It's very different, and at times it's challenging, and at times you
Mm-hmm.
get stumped, which is normal. I think it comes with learning. If you really want to keep enhancing your knowledge and your skill set, you're gonna get stumped at times, and that's fine. It's, you gotta be able to feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable and reaching out to others. Asking for feedback and just trying to improve as much as you can. So I really wanted to be able to help Dina, and then now with the summer interns, and now being a full timer, I am able to apply for that, and I did. And I am very, very excited for the summer interns, and I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait to meet them. I can't wait to be able to be, someone to guide them, someone that they could come to for questions. Even if they aren't my CR like friend, like the side one, like any one of the interns, I am more than happy to help, even if we're not in the same team, because at times, even myself, I reach out to other people in different teams just for little questions, so sometimes, so I want to be able to be that for them, because I was there. I was there last year. So I want to make sure they get that same experience that I got this time as they keep going. Because at the end of the day, they're the future. They're the future associates coming in, and I want to be able to be a part of their journey.
I love it. That's a actually a really big reason why I got into campus recruiting, and having been doing this for 2 years now, it is so cool to see this transformation, like from meeting students on campus to seeing how they do in the internship to then full circle moments like this where you're working full time helping students that are coming in this summer. It's like such an exciting time to see someone that I had hired coming back and actually helping out a new student. That's like so cool. And I mean, I remember I took 3 internships when I was in school. I remember being very confused and very overwhelmed by the working world and wishing that I had someone, or wishing that someone was going to step in to sort of help me through that and help me manage my expectations and grow and learn. And so to get to do that and to get to grow talent here that also gets to do that and is passionate about that, that's just like, it's undescribable how rewarding that feels, and what that's like to really to see it come full circle. So I appreciate that you help out and that you care as much as you do. It's it's awesome. I'll wrap us up with this last piece. Do you have any advice that you would like to give to students before we end the call?
Some advice. Honestly, I guess, I mean, the biggest advice I can give is, kind of, never stop believing in yourself. I think sometimes we hit bumps in the road, we fall down at times, and we kind of feel like we're not, we kind of doubt ourselves at times. I think that happened to me at certain times during interview process for other companies. At times when they kind of declining me, and then me kind of feeling a way about it. But you got to pick yourself up. You got to be able to be your number one kind of hype man. You got to motivate yourself. You got to stay positive as much as you can, and you got to make sure you put in the work. You got to make sure you kind of make sacrifices at times, and be able to accomplish, your dreams, make your dreams into reality. I think is one of the biggest things that I think some people sometimes kind of forget, or kind of get caught up with, their lives at times. And especially when, things get down. I always tell people I am happy. I wouldn't change my upbringing at all. I'm happy for the ups, and I'm happy for the downs, especially the downs. They made me who I am. They let me know I could go through anything and survive and be able to conquer, So don't ever stop believing in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, trust me, I believe in you. Like, you gotta understand, like, the greatness in you. You just gotta unlock it. You gotta be able to just focus, fully focus, and just have a purpose, have a vision, and then don't let nobody get in between that. Don't let nobody say you can't, or it's too much of a big dream. There's no such thing as that. I think when you want something, you understand the work you got to put in, the sacrifices you got to make at times, and just keep improving, just keep being a better you, and understanding it's a process. Patience is key. And when your time comes, and I think, for me, I'm a good example of it. My time came, and everything worked out very well for me, and I'm still trying to grow. I'm still trying to be better, because I'm not perfect, and I don't think nobody's perfect, but we can always put in every day, be grateful for every day and take advantage of every day. I think that's one of the biggest things I want to tell people. Take advantage of every day, as much as you can. Do as much, be kind to people. It doesn't cost anything, it doesn't hurt anything to be kind. So, help out others as much as you can, and just try to be a better version of yourself, and never stop believing in yourself, never stop dreaming, and just wait. It's gonna happen. It's a process, I think.
I love it. Well, I am truly so honored that I got a chance to even tell your story. I rave about you all the time. You do a great job here at the firm. You've done a great job with our interns. It was really cool to see just the growth in the last couple of years. So thank you for agreeing to hop on the call and allowing us to share your story with the Suffolk University community, and put it out there on LinkedIn for the world to see. So Thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Honestly, I'm more than happy. I'm happy I'm gonna be able to be, help, be able to have people that are fresh gen students that can relate. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one of the biggest things. So I'm honestly, I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm very proud to be a part of it. I've actually told my family about it because it's
Oh,
something that, I'm proud of. So definitely, thank you to you. Thank you, um, Suffolk. And then thank you for just, letting me be able to tell my story to others. And hopefully some people can relate and hopefully it can inspire people as well.